Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Progress doesn't happen overnight. It's not about making giant leaps every single day. It's about taking small, deliberate steps forward. And those steps,
They count. They matter. Because improvement is not about perfection, it's about progression.
you see, the secret to success isn't hidden in some grand, magical formula. It's not about some breakthrough moment or lucky opportunity. Success comes from one thing: the decision to get better, just 1% better every single day. I think about that. Just 1%. It doesn't sound like much, right? A small, barely noticeable change, but I'll tell you this, it adds up. You improve 1% today, then 1% tomorrow, then the next day. Before you know it, you've transformed your life. But here's the thing: improvement isn't easy. It takes consistency. It takes sacrifice. It takes sacrifice. It takes resilience when the world wants to knock you down. When you get tired, when you face obstacles, when you feel like you're giving everything you have and it's still not enough, remember this: just 1%. That's all you need to focus on. Keep pushing. Keep growing. Keep evolving. In this world, it's easy to look at someone's success and think, I'll never get there. I'm too far behind, but understand this: everyone who's achieved greatness started just like you, looking at the mountain from the bottom. The difference is they decided to take that first step. And then the next. And then the next. And they didn't stop. And let me be clear, this isn't just about your career, your finances, or your public achievements. This is about you, the person you are right now. Every day, you have the power to improve yourself, your mindset, your character, your discipline, your relationships. There's always room for growth. Never stop seeking to become a better version of yourself. So when you wake up tomorrow, ask yourself, what can I do today that will make me 1% better than I was yesterday? Maybe it's learning a new skill. Maybe it's getting out of your comfort zone and taking a risk. Maybe it's simply showing more kindness to others. Whatever it is, do it. Do it with heart. Do it with intention. And keep doing it, because in time, those 1% improvements will compound. I don't rush. Don't worry about how fast others are moving. Focus on your own journey. And remember, this success doesn't come from doing everything perfectly. It comes from doing anything to improve just a little bit more each day. You are the only one who has the power to change your future. Every choice you make, every action you take, moves you closer to the person you're meant to be. Keep improving yourself 1% every day, and trust me, watch how far you go. Success, for many, can often seem like an overwhelming concept. We live in a world that glorifies fast success, quick results, and the idea of achieving greatness in an instant. Our social media, television, and the people around us often promote a narrative that anyone can go from zero to hero overnight. But the truth is, success is rarely about these sudden leaps. It's almost always about something far more subtle, gradual, and sustainable incremental progress. Specifically, it's about focusing on getting just 1% better every day. Let's think about that for a moment. Minus 1%. It's such a small, almost insignificant fraction that you might wonder how it could make any difference in the grand scheme of things. After all, how much can one small improvement really contribute? The answer is a lot. Because when you consistently improve just 1% every day, those little steps add up in a way that's far more powerful than any single massive effort. The idea behind improving 1% every day is rooted in the principle of compounding. The same concept that explains how investments grow over time can be applied to personal development. When you make small, daily improvements, the cumulative effect of those improvements is exponential. It's like saving a little bit of money each day. $1 today, another dollar tomorrow, and over time, that money compounds. The same is true with your skills, habits, and personal growth. If you focus on getting a little better each day, you'll find that the results snowball. At the end of the year, those 1% improvements will have accumulated to the point where you've made significant strides in your life. But let's break it down even further. What does it mean to improve 1% every day? This could look different for everyone, depending on where they are in their journey and what they're trying to achieve. For some, it might mean improving a skill, learning something new, practicing it, and refining it each day. It could be reading a few more pages of a book, learning a new vocabulary word, or gaining a deeper understanding of something that piques your interest. For others, it might mean working on your health, eating a little healthier today than yesterday. or committing to a workout routine that you can improve over time. The point is, it doesn't have to be grandiose. It doesn't need to be some drastic overhaul of your life. It's the small, deliberate steps that lead to true progress. Another part of this journey is realizing that improvement often isn't linear. Some days your progress might feel stagnant, or you might even feel like you're taking a step back. But that doesn't mean you're failing. The key is consistency. You might not see the results of your 1% improvement immediately, and that's okay. Over time, the changes you're making will start to add up, and you'll realize just how far you've come. Even on the days when you feel like you're not making significant strides, keep showing up. Keep putting in the effort. It's those days of small progress that set the foundation for future breakthroughs. There's also an element of patience that comes with this process. In a world where we often seek instant gratification, the idea of 1% improvement can feel frustrating. Why focus on something so small when we could aim for bigger results? The reality is that big results often take time. And more importantly, the journey of improvement is not just about the destination, but the growth that happens along the way. Those small steps teach us discipline, resilience, and the ability to keep pushing forward, even when progress feels slow. The more we practice patience, the more we realize that sustainable success isn't about rushing to the finish line. It's about enjoying the journey and allowing it to shape us into who we're meant to become. When you focus on improving 1% every day, you're also learning to embrace the process, not just the outcome. It's easy to get caught up in what we want to achieve and forget that the process itself is where the real growth happens. It's in the quiet moments of learning, practicing, and refining that we gain the experience and wisdom necessary for true success. The 1% improvement mindset encourages you to fall in love with the process, not just the end result. It teaches you to find joy in the small victories, the minor wins, and the personal growth that happens day by day. I think about the effect this principle can have on your overall well-being too. Improving just 1% each day doesn't just apply to your career, skills, or goals. It applies to your mindset, attitude, and personal habits as well. It could mean becoming 1% more patient with others or 1% more kind to yourself. It could mean becoming 1% more disciplined in your routine, 1% more focused on your mental health, or 1% more compassionate in your relationships. These small improvements in your character and mindset often lead to the most profound and lasting changes in your life. The true measure of success isn't just what we accomplish externally, it's who we become in the process. And perhaps most importantly, when you commit to improving 1% every day, you're not just improving for the sake of improvement. You're becoming a better version of yourself for your own well-being and for the people around you. This consistent, small progress gives you confidence. It builds your self-worth. When you look back at your journey, you'll realize that those small steps were the key to transforming your life. Every day, you've been crafting a stronger, more capable version of yourself. And when you combine that self-improvement with patience, consistency, and a focus on the process, you'll begin to see just how far you've come. By focusing on improving just 1% every day, you're creating a mindset that doesn't rely on big, flashy results. Instead, you're building a foundation of small, steady progress that will take you further than you could ever imagine. Keep taking those 1% steps. Keep improving one small change at a time, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never expected. When you commit to improving yourself just 1% every day, you are embracing the power of incremental improvement, a principle that, although subtle, holds immense transformative potential. This concept is often overlooked because it seems so small, so insignificant, that it's hard to believe it could lead to any substantial change. But the truth is, incremental improvement is one of the most powerful tools you have at your disposal when it comes to achieving long-term success. It's easy to become overwhelmed by the idea of needing to make dramatic changes in a short amount of time, but it's often the tiny, consistent improvements that truly move us forward. The key here is that incremental improvement doesn't rely on instant results or overnight transformation. It's not about achieving perfection or executing everything flawlessly from the start. It's about understanding that lasting success is built on the foundation of small, steady actions that compound over time. Each day, as you improve just 1%, it might feel like you're making little to no progress. But over weeks, months, and years, those 1% improvements add up in ways that can completely change the trajectory of your life. This process is similar to the concept of compounding interest in financial investments. Imagine you invest a small amount of money regularly, and although the individual contributions seem minor, over time, the interest on your investment grows exponentially. In the same way, when you work on yourself even just a little bit each day, whether it's improving your skills, expanding your knowledge, or growing your mindset, that growth compounds, leading to exponential results. In a year, those small improvements can add up to something unrecognizable from where you started. And in 5 years, it can result in a transformation so profound that you might wonder how you ever got to this point. A great example of the power of incremental improvement can be seen in the world of athletes. Take a professional athlete, for instance. No one becomes a world-class athlete overnight. It's the result of years of consistent, focused practice of improving just a little bit more each day. In fact, it's often the athlete who shows up every day, putting in the extra hours of practice, working on the areas they struggle with, and honing their technique that rises to the top. They don't expect to be perfect from the start, but by focusing on improving incrementally, they are setting themselves up for long-term success. The same principle applies to personal development. If you want to improve your career, start by learning something new every day. Maybe it's a new skill, a new piece of knowledge, or a new way of thinking. It might seem small, but over time, that knowledge builds on itself. The more you learn and practice, the more competent you become, and the better you can perform in your job or any pursuit you're passionate about. Similarly, improving your physical health by just a small amount every day, whether it's eating a little healthier, working out a little longer, or taking an extra walk, adds up over time to create lasting change. You won't see drastic results in a single day, but over the course of months and years, those incremental steps accumulate into a healthier, stronger version of yourself. Even in relationships, the idea of improving 1% each day can have a profound impact. You don't need to drastically change your entire way of interacting with others all at once. Sometimes it's the small gestures of kindness, being more present, listening more intently, or showing appreciation that make a world of difference. Small acts of compassion and care, when practiced consistently, can transform the quality of your relationships over time. You might not notice these small improvements day to day, but over time, the cumulative effect will be evident in the strength and depth of your connections with others. One of the main reasons why incremental improvement works so effectively is that it's sustainable. It doesn't require radical, life-altering changes that are hard to maintain. It's much easier to commit to improving just 1% each day than to expect a massive overhaul of your habits or lifestyle. Small changes are less overwhelming, and when you make them part of your daily routine, they become habits. Once something becomes a habit, it no longer requires intense effort or motivation to continue doing it. The small improvements over time start to feel natural, and before you know it, you've transformed your habits and mindset without having to consciously force the change. You've created a system of growth that propels you forward without burning you out. Another benefit of focusing on incremental improvement is that it builds momentum. Small wins lead to greater confidence, and that confidence fuels further progress. The more you experience the rewards of your consistent effort, the more motivated you become to continue pushing forward. Even on days when progress feels slow, the momentum you've built helps you stay focused and committed to the process. And when you encounter setbacks, the habit of continuous improvement means you'll be better equipped to handle challenges without feeling discouraged. You've already trained yourself to keep going, to get back up after failure, and to keep improving no matter how small the steps may seem. One of the most powerful aspects of incremental improvement is that it's personal. You're not comparing yourself to anyone else. You're not looking for immediate validation or approval. Instead, you're focused on your own growth and progress. This mindset is liberating. It frees you from the pressure of trying to keep up with others or trying to reach some arbitrary standard of success. Instead, your only goal is to be better than you were yesterday. This mindset shifts the focus from external results to internal growth. The more you focus on improving just 1% every day, the less you worry about where others are in their journey or how quickly you should be progressing. Your growth becomes a deeply personal, internal process, and the rewards are intrinsic. The beauty of incremental improvement is that it's always within your control. You don't need to wait for perfect conditions or for the world around you to align perfectly. before you can start making progress. All you need is the commitment to show up every day and make that small improvement, no matter how trivial it may seem in the moment. The key to this principle is consistency. Every day, you have the opportunity to get just a little bit better. And when you make that your focus day in and day out, you are setting yourself up for remarkable transformation. So as you move forward in your life, remember that success doesn't require giant leaps. It's the small, incremental improvements that over time lead to extraordinary results. By focusing on improving just 1% every day, you are cultivating the kind of growth that is sustainable, rewarding, and most importantly, transformative. The power lies in the consistency of your efforts and the belief that even the smallest improvements will add up to something far greater than you could ever achieve through shortcuts or immediate gratification. And when you commit to improving yourself by just 1% every day, it becomes an all-encompassing journey that extends beyond just one area of your life. It's not merely about improving your career, your financial situation, or your skills in a specific task. True, lasting improvement involves growth in multiple dimensions of your life: mental, emotional, physical, and relational. The principle of improving 1% every day is applicable in every aspect of who you are, and it encourages you to focus on becoming a better version of yourself in a holistic way. This doesn't mean that you need to completely overhaul every facet of your life all at once. Rather, it encourages you to make small, thoughtful improvements in each area that collectively lead to a more balanced, fulfilling existence. The key to this is understanding that personal development is not one-dimensional. It's easy to focus solely on professional advancement or material goals, thinking that once you achieve those, everything else will fall into place. But the truth is, true success isn't just about what you accomplish externally. It's about who you become along the way. If you solely focus on professional growth, for example, but neglect your health, relationships, or mental well-being, you may end up feeling unfulfilled, even when you've achieved your goals. But when you focus on improving just 1% in every aspect of your life, you start building a stronger, more resilient version of yourself, capable of handling whatever life throws at you. Let's talk about your mindset, for instance. Every day you have the power to work on your mental state, your thoughts, and the way you approach challenges. It's easy to fall into the trap of negative thinking, especially when things don't go as planned or when you face obstacles. But improving 1% every day means intentionally focusing on the way you think and react to situations. Perhaps it's as simple as reminding yourself to be more positive or to challenge negative self-talk when it arises. Maybe it's about developing more patience with yourself when you make mistakes. Over time, these small mental shifts accumulate and build a stronger mindset, which in turn makes you better equipped to handle difficult situations and setbacks. The 1% improvement approach helps you cultivate a mental resilience that will carry you through the ups and downs of life, allowing you to bounce back more quickly from adversity. Similarly, working on your emotional health is another vital component of personal growth. It's often easy to overlook our emotions in the hustle and bustle of daily life, but neglecting them can lead to burnout, stress, and feelings of overwhelm. By improving 1% every day in terms of emotional health, you give yourself the tools to better manage stress, to understand your feelings, and to respond to others in a more empathetic, emotionally intelligent way. Perhaps it's setting aside time each day to meditate, journal, or simply reflect on your feelings. Maybe it's about learning to let go of things that don't serve you and practicing gratitude for what you have. These small, consistent efforts help you develop a deeper emotional awareness and stability, making you more balanced in your interactions with others and with yourself. In terms of your physical health, the concept of improving 1% each day is just as powerful. Many of us make the mistake of trying to make drastic changes to our health all at once, starting a rigorous exercise routine, cutting out entire food groups, or committing to intense fitness goals without gradually building up the necessary habits. This can lead to burnout, frustration, and even failure. Instead, focusing on small daily improvements in your physical health allows you to make sustainable changes that last. This could mean walking an extra 500 steps today compared to yesterday, adding a vegetable to your meal, or going to bed 15 minutes earlier than usual to ensure a better night's sleep. These may seem like small, insignificant changes, but over time, they have a compounding effect on your overall health. The more consistently you commit to small improvements, the more your physical health will improve, leaving you feeling stronger, more energized, and ready to take on more in other areas of your life. And when it comes to relationships, the idea of improving 1% every day becomes equally impactful. Relationships, whether they are with family, friends, colleagues, or romantic partners, require care, attention, and growth. It's easy to fall into the routine of taking others for granted or assuming that relationships will thrive without effort. But the truth is, relationships require continuous effort, just like any other area of personal development. Improving 1% every day in the context of relationships could mean being more present when you're with someone, listening more intently, or showing more appreciation for the people you care about. Maybe it's committing to having more meaningful conversations or being more intentional in your interactions. By making small improvements every day, you create stronger, more fulfilling relationships that provide support, joy, and connection. The small acts of kindness, empathy, and consideration you show toward others compound over time, and they contribute to deeper, more meaningful bonds. The beauty of improving 1% every day across these different areas is that it's a holistic approach to personal development. By improving your mindset, emotional well-being, physical health, and relationships, you start to build a more balanced and grounded life. And when all these elements work together, the results are far greater than what you could achieve by focusing on just one aspect of your life in isolation. Each small improvement in one area reinforces the improvements in the others, creating a positive cycle of growth and development. Moreover, improving 1% every day doesn't just make you a more capable and well-rounded person, it also prepares you to face challenges in a more resilient and effective way. When you're stronger mentally, emotionally, physically, and socially, you become more adaptable to the demands of life. You're better equipped to handle stress, to work through conflicts, and to overcome the obstacles that come your way. Each area of improvement strengthens you, making it easier to handle new challenges as they arise. This holistic approach to growth also helps to prevent burnout. By focusing on gradual, sustainable improvement in all areas of your life, you avoid the pitfall of overloading one aspect like work or fitness while neglecting others. Balance is key, and small, consistent improvements allow you to maintain that balance while still making significant progress in your personal development. The power of improving just 1% every day lies not in the individual actions themselves, but in the cumulative effect they have when practiced consistently. Each small effort, whether it's improving your mindset, your relationships, or your health, contributes to an overall transformation that's greater than the sum of its parts. The more you invest in your growth, the more you become the person you're meant to be. And the beauty of this approach is that it's available to everyone. All you need is the commitment to show up day after day and focus on becoming just a little better than you were yesterday. Resilience is one of the most important qualities you can develop on your journey of self-improvement. It's the ability to stay focused, motivated, and determined even in the face of adversity. Resilience doesn't mean that you won't experience challenges or setbacks. In fact, it means that you'll face those challenges head-on, knowing that every obstacle is an opportunity to grow stronger and more capable. When you commit to improving just 1% every day, resilience plays a crucial role in ensuring that you don't give up when things get tough. It's about continuing to show up, doing the work, and trusting that small, consistent efforts will eventually lead to the results you desire. And one of the first things to understand about resilience is that it's not something that you're born with. It's not a fixed trait or an innate characteristic that only certain people possess. Resilience is something that can be developed over time. Just like any skill, it requires practice, patience, and a mindset shift. The key is to realize that resilience is not about avoiding difficulties or avoiding failure. It's about how you respond to those difficulties. In fact, failure can often be one of your greatest teachers. The way you learn from your mistakes, adapt, and keep moving forward is what builds resilience. When you face failure and continue on your path, you prove to yourself that you can endure, learn, and grow stronger from the experience. This strengthens your resilience, and the more resilient you become, the more capable you are of handling future challenges. Improving 1% every day helps you build resilience in a manageable, sustainable way. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when we think about big goals or transformations. When you set a large goal, it can seem daunting, and the thought of achieving that goal can sometimes be paralyzing. But by focusing on improving just 1% every day, you break down the goal into smaller, more attainable pieces. This approach makes the process less intimidating and helps you stay focused on the present moment. Instead of feeling discouraged by how much there is left to achieve, you focus on what you can do right now to move closer to your goal. This shift in perspective is crucial for building resilience because it takes the pressure off and allows you to focus on what you can control. Another critical aspect of resilience is the ability to persevere through difficult moments. Every journey of self-improvement involves moments of doubt, frustration, and exhaustion. There will be days when you feel like giving up, when progress seems slow or non-existent, and when the obstacles seem too large to overcome. It's in those moments that your resilience will be tested, and it's during these moments that the 1% improvement strategy becomes most valuable. When you commit to making small improvements every day, you're not focused on immediate results. Instead, you're focused on the process. You understand that growth doesn't happen overnight, and that true transformation takes time. This mindset allows you to push through tough days and keep moving forward, knowing that your efforts will eventually pay off, even if it takes longer than expected. Additionally, as you improve just 1% each day, you'll notice that your resilience will begin to rub off on others. When people see you persistently working towards your goals, even in the face of difficulty, they become inspired by your example. Resilience is contagious. The more you demonstrate it, the more others will feel encouraged to persevere through their own challenges. This creates a ripple effect of resilience that can strengthen entire communities, workplaces, and social networks. Resilience, then, is not just about personal strength, but about the collective strength that comes from continuously improving and supporting each other. The 1% improvement method is an effective way to nurture resilience because it helps you keep moving forward, even when the journey seems long or the path is unclear. By focusing on small, daily improvements, you train yourself to persevere through the inevitable challenges of life. And in doing so, you become stronger, more capable, and more resilient than ever before. And when you commit to improving yourself by just 1% every day, you are not only working towards personal growth, but also setting yourself up for a lifetime of success. One of the most powerful aspects of this philosophy is the way it fosters long-term, sustainable results. In a world where quick fixes and immediate gratification are often emphasized, it's easy to forget that true, lasting success doesn't come from overnight transformations. Instead, it's built on the steady, incremental progress that compounds over time. The key to understanding long-term success is realizing that the small, consistent steps you take today create the foundation for the future you desire. The 1% improvement approach works because it focuses on progress rather than perfection. Every day, you're not striving for immediate, massive results. Rather, you're committing to making small improvements in various areas of your life. These small changes are easier to manage and sustain over time, which is why they lead to long-term success. You might not notice the immediate impact of a 1% improvement on any given day, but over weeks, months, and years, these small changes accumulate into substantial progress. When you apply this principle across different areas of your life, your health, relationships, career, and personal development, the cumulative effect becomes truly transformative. One of the reasons why focusing on small improvements creates long-term success is that it builds habits that are sustainable. When you make large, drastic changes all at once, it's easy to become overwhelmed or burned out. Rapid changes often feel unnatural and difficult to maintain, which is why people tend to fall back into old habits after a short time. But when you focus on improving 1% every day, you give yourself the space to ease into new habits. Over time, these small changes become second nature, and you no longer have to rely on sheer willpower or motivation to keep going. The process becomes automatic, which is what makes it sustainable. Whether it's exercising a little more each day, eating healthier, or working on your personal growth, these small habits build momentum that can carry you forward for the long haul. Moreover, focusing on 1% improvements encourages you to think about progress as a journey rather than a destination. In a world that often promotes instant success, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that once you achieve a certain goal, everything will be perfect. But the truth is, success is not a one-time event. It's a continuous process of growth and evolution. The 1% improvement philosophy teaches you to embrace the journey, to appreciate the small wins along the way, and to recognize that success is a constant state of becoming. By taking small, consistent steps each day, you learn to appreciate the progress you're making even when it feels slow. This shift in mindset allows you to stay motivated over the long term because you are focused on the process, not just the outcome. Another important aspect of long-term success is the ability to adapt and adjust. Life is unpredictable, and things don't always go according to plan. However, when you improve 1% every day, you develop the flexibility to adjust your approach as needed. If you encounter a setback or a challenge, you don't view it as a failure. Instead, you see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Over time, this mindset shift enables you to remain adaptable and resourceful. You begin to understand that obstacles are not roadblocks, but rather stepping stones to greater success. Each time you encounter a difficulty and persevere, you strengthen your resilience and your ability to face future challenges. The beauty of small, consistent improvements is that they don't require dramatic changes to see significant results. Many people give up on their goals because they expect immediate results, where they feel that the small steps they are taking are not enough to create meaningful change. However, the 1% improvement method is designed to prove that small efforts add up over time. It's easy to become discouraged when progress feels slow or invisible. But when you understand that success is a gradual process, you begin to realize that every small step counts. Whether you're learning a new skill, working on a personal project, or trying to build a new habit, the small improvements you make each day are the building blocks of your long-term success. Over time, the 1% improvement principle creates compounding results. The more you commit to making small improvements every day, the greater the cumulative effect. This principle can be applied to any area of your life, and the results are exponential. For example, if you improve your knowledge by 1% each day, you'll be far more knowledgeable a year from now than you were when you started. Similarly, if you improve your fitness by 1% each day, you'll be in much better shape in a few months, even if the progress seems slow at first. The small daily improvements build on each other, creating momentum that drives you toward your goals. And one of the main reasons why the 1% improvement method is so effective in creating long-term success is that it eliminates the pressure of needing immediate results. People often give up on their goals because they expect instant gratification, or they don't see immediate returns on their hard work. But by focusing on small, incremental changes, you release yourself from the need to see results right away. Instead, you focus on the process, trusting that the results will come as a natural outcome of your consistent efforts. This mindset shift not only reduces the pressure you place on yourself, but also makes the journey more enjoyable. You begin to enjoy the process of improving, rather than just fixating on the outcome. Additionally, small improvements over time build your self-confidence and belief in your abilities. Each time you take a small step forward, you prove to yourself that you are capable of making progress, even when the steps feel insignificant. This builds your belief in the process and strengthens your motivation to continue. The more you improve by 1% each day, the more you trust yourself to achieve your goals, and this belief in yourself becomes a powerful motivator to keep going. In the context of your career, the 1% improvement philosophy can help you advance steadily without feeling overwhelmed. Instead of trying to make a dramatic leap in your career all at once, you focus on developing your skills, expanding your knowledge, and taking small steps toward your bigger career goals. Each day, you get a little bit better at what you do, which builds your confidence and reputation over time. This consistent growth leads to greater opportunities and advancement over the long term. This philosophy also applies to your relationships. Building meaningful, lasting relationships takes time and effort. By focusing on small, daily improvements in how you communicate, listen, and show appreciation for others, you foster stronger and more fulfilling connections. These small gestures build trust and deepen bonds over time, creating a foundation for long-lasting relationships that continue to grow and thrive. In conclusion, the principle of improving just 1% every day creates a foundation for long-term success by focusing on consistent, incremental progress. Small, sustainable changes are more effective than dramatic, short-term efforts because they build habits, resilience, and adaptability over time. By committing to small improvements in all areas of your life, you lay the groundwork for lasting transformation and success. Over time, these small steps compound into significant achievements, and you find that the process of growth becomes its own reward. A success is not an event, but a journey, and the 1% improvement method ensures that you are always moving forward, steadily and consistently, toward your ultimate goals. When you commit to improving yourself by just 1% every day, one of the most profound benefits you'll experience is the development of greater self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to stay focused, make intentional choices, and push through discomfort or distractions to achieve long-term goals. In a world filled with distractions and instant gratification, cultivating self-discipline is essential for success. The 1% improvement strategy is particularly effective in this area because it emphasizes gradual progress, giving you the space to build your discipline over time, rather than forcing drastic changes all at once. With each small step forward, you develop the inner strength and resolve to keep going, even when it's difficult. At its core, self-discipline is about consistency. It's about showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it, and doing the work that moves you towards your goals. The challenge many people face is that they expect to see immediate results, and when they don't, they lose motivation and fall off track. The 1% approach addresses this problem by focusing on small, manageable improvements that don't overwhelm you. Instead of setting unrealistic expectations for yourself, you focus on small daily actions that, when compounded over time, lead to significant growth. This gradual approach to building self-discipline helps you avoid burnout and discouragement. It makes the process of improvement feel more sustainable because you're not aiming for perfection, but for incremental progress. Self-discipline is often misunderstood as simply the ability to resist temptation or say no to distractions. While that's part of it, self-discipline is also about developing positive habits, making conscious decisions that align with your values, and pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. The 1% improvement principle helps you in all of these areas. For example, if you want to improve your physical health, you might start by committing to a short workout every day. You don't have to train for hours in the gym from the very beginning. Just 10 minutes of exercise each day can help you build the habit of exercising regularly. Over time, you can increase the duration and intensity, but the key is to start small. This approach helps you avoid feeling overwhelmed by the idea of needing to make big changes right away, and instead, you develop the self-discipline to follow through consistently. Likewise, when it comes to building self-discipline in other areas of your life, the same principle applies. If you're trying to improve your work habits, for example, you can start by committing to working for just 10 minutes without distractions. This small, focused period of work helps you build the discipline to focus for longer stretches of time as you get used to the process. The 1% improvement method enables you to develop your ability to concentrate and avoid distractions over time. As your discipline in one area grows, it starts to spill over into other parts of your life, creating a ripple effect of improvement that enhances your overall productivity. One of the reasons why self-discipline is so challenging is that it requires delayed gratification. Our natural tendency is to seek immediate rewards or pleasure, but true success comes from the ability to delay those impulses in favor of long-term rewards. Improving by just 1% each day cultivates this skill by showing you the power of consistent, small actions that, over time, lead to big results. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to make disciplined choices that support your long-term goals. You start to recognize the value of small efforts and how they add up over time. Instead of feeling frustrated by the lack of immediate results, you begin to appreciate the process of progress itself. But building self-discipline is also about understanding the power of choice. Every day you are presented with opportunities to make decisions that either move you closer to your goals or take you further away from them. The 1% improvement principle helps you make better choices by encouraging you to focus on small, manageable actions. Each time you choose to improve, even by just 1%, you reinforce the habit of making decisions that support your growth. Over time, this creates a strong foundation of self-discipline because you've developed the habit of choosing what's best for you rather than what's easy or comfortable in the moment. The 1% approach also works because it helps you maintain motivation. Motivation often comes and goes in waves, and it's easy to lose it when the road to success feels long or difficult. However, when you focus on making small improvements every day, you create momentum that keeps you moving forward, even when motivation feels low. The key is to make progress every day, no matter how small, and let that progress fuel your motivation. Each time you achieve a small improvement, it reinforces your belief in your ability to succeed. This helps you build a sense of accomplishment and confidence that keeps you going, even on days when motivation is lacking. As you continue to make small improvements and see the results over time, your sense of discipline grows stronger and more automatic. Consistency is another essential element of self-discipline. The 1% improvement method is powerful because it emphasizes the importance of showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It's easy to make excuses or procrastinate when the task seems too big or overwhelming. But by breaking your goals into small, manageable tasks, you reduce the temptation to delay. Each day you're committing to take a small step forward. And over time, this builds the discipline you need to keep going, even when circumstances aren't ideal.
This daily consistency is what separates those who succeed from those who give up when challenges arise.
Ultimately, the 1% improvement method helps you cultivate self-discipline by showing you that change is not a matter of making huge, sweeping efforts all at once. It's about making consistent, small decisions that compound over time. Each small act of discipline, whether it's choosing to work a little longer, exercise a little more, or learn a little more, reinforces your ability to stick to your goals. And as these small improvements build up, you begin to realize the power of consistency, patience, self-control. Self-discipline doesn't have to be a struggle when you take it one day at a time, focusing on the small improvements that will eventually lead to big changes. Through consistent, incremental progress, you develop the inner strength to stay on course and achieve your long-term goals. Thank you.